The bookshop that remembered. The train had scarcely sighed to a halt before Lila felt briarwood rise around her like an old, familiar dream, soft-edged, rain-scented, pulsing with the echoes of a life she had once imagined growing into. The town was smaller than she remembered, or perhaps she had simply grown beyond the narrow streets and crooked chimneys. Yet when she stepped onto the platform, a faint drizzle kissing her cheeks, she felt a tug in her chest, the pull of a place that had once held her gently. She told herself she was only here for a week, a brief visit, a small pause between the chaos of city life and the next sprint forward. But her feet, as if possessed by muscle memory, drifted not toward the inn or the Main Street cafes, but toward the little stone bridge arching over Briarwood Creek, and just beyond it, nestled under an ancient oak whose branches sprawled like the arms of a patient guardian, waited the bookshop. Its sign, the Briarwood Bindery, still creaked in the wind, each swing whispering old stories to anyone willing to listen. Dew clung to the windows in delicate lacework, blurring the glow within into warm amber smudges. The door, painted a soft sage green, bore the scuffs of time, like a beloved book handled too often to stay pristine. As Lila pushed it open, the bell above the frame chimed, the same clear, tinkling sound that had once marked the beginning of her every teenage Saturday. The scent washed over her immediately, old paper, pine shelves soaked with years of touch, and a hint of citrus tea that always seemed to linger in the air. Dust motes drifted lazily in beams of golden lamplight, suspended like tiny galaxies. And behind the counter stood Rowan. He looked up at the sound of her steps, and recognition flashed across his face like sunrise breaking through mist. He had changed, grown taller, broader in the shoulders, with hair that curled slightly from the damp. His eyes, still the same soft, thoughtful brown, warmed as soon as they met hers. "Lila," he said, her name unfolding from his lips as if he'd been holding it in his pocket for years. She laughed softly, surprised at how natural it felt to hear him say it. "You remember?" "I remember a lot," Rowan replied. His voice had deepened, but the gentle cadence remained, careful, unhurried, as though every word he chose mattered. He asked how long she was visiting, and she said a week. Only a week. She tried to keep her tone light, but something in Rowan's expression flickered, a brief tightening at the edge of his smile, as though he wanted to say something but swallowed it back. As she wandered through the aisles, he stayed behind the counter but watched her with a kind of attention that felt neither intrusive nor idle. More like recognition, like someone greeting a favorite story after years apart. The shelves embraced her in their old familiarity, the poetry corner still tucked beneath the low ceiling beam, the children's books arranged in a rainbow by someone with a whimsical soul, the antique section glowing softly under warm lamps. The wood creaked beneath her boots, the same way it used to when she tiptoed between shelves, searching for something to spark that deep, secret joy books had always given her. When she paused to touch the spine of a worn novel, she found a small slip of paper tucked between the pages. She pulled it out. "Some stories grow with you." It read in handwriting she recognized immediately. Looping. Neat, undeniably Rowan's. She blinked, glancing toward the counter. Rowan pretended to be absorbed in straightening bookmarks, but the faint pink coloring his ears betrayed him. She kept browsing. Another book, another message. "You always lingered here longer when it rained." Then, "I've missed the way you hum when you read." And in a collection of poems, "You once said this place felt like home." I remembered that. The words settled in her chest like warm embers, glowing faintly, softly, insistently. Over the next days, she returned again and again, telling herself it was for the books, for the charm of the town, for nostalgia. But each visit stretched longer than the last, her fingers tracing spines not because she needed new stories, but because she hoped, with a quiet growing ache, that Rowan would hide another note for her to find. Sometimes he would recommend a book with a shy half-smile. Sometimes he would brew her favorite tea, chamomile with a twist of orange, something she herself had forgotten she liked. Sometimes he would simply sit across from her on an old armchair reading silently while she browsed the hush between them, comfortable, layered with the unspoken understanding of two people who once shared a world and could share it again. On the final day of her visit, the sky hung low and heavy, clouds bruised with rain. Lila entered the bookshop with a nod of reluctance twisting under her ribs. Rowan straightened as she walked in, his expression calm, but his eyes shadowed with something deeper. Anticipation, perhaps, hope, fear. "I came to say goodbye," she said softly. He nodded, though his gaze dropped to the counter, to the old grain of the wood, as though searching for words hidden there. "I thought you might," he murmured. But when he reached beneath the counter, he placed a small wrapped package between them. Brown paper, twine, a pressed lavender sprig tied into the bough, a quiet beauty, simple and intentional. "For you," he said. Lila's fingers trembled slightly as she untied the twine. Inside was a book, but not an ordinary one. "For the new chapters." She opened it. Blank pages greeted her. There, in Rowan's unmistakable handwriting, was a single line. "Stay if you want. I'd like to be part of your story." The words struck something deep and unfamiliar in her, a blend of surprise, longing, and the quiet realization that some places, some people, never stop remembering you. When she looked up, Rowan's eyes held hers with a vulnerability that made the bookshop feel suddenly too small to contain it. And her heart, unsteady, unsure, hopeful, answered before she could think. "Then maybe," she whispered, her voice trembling like a page turning in gentle wind, "we write the next chapter here." Outside, the rain began to fall in soft, shimmering threads, tapping against the windows like fingers turning a beloved page.